Hello, and welcome to Prairie Pulse. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll see a musical performance from Max Jonk. But first, joining me now is Adam Pankow. And Adam is the artistic director at the Fargo-Moorhead Community Theater. Adam, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on today.
Well, I got all that out there, but as we get started, we like you tell the folks a little bit about yourself and your background, maybe where you're originally from.
Sure. Well, I am actually kind of local here in the Fargo-Moorhead area. I grew up in West Fargo and went to school. My first undergrad was at Concordia College in Moorhead, so like I'm pretty entrenched in the Fargo-Moorhead scene. But after college, I kind of went away different parts of the country, working as an actor and technician and director around the country. But I found myself coming back, gravitating back towards this area, and I got my education degree from Minnesota State University in Moorhead. And then for the previous 10 years, I've been working with the West Fargo Public School System as a English teacher and theater director there. So I'm pretty much as Fargo as they can get, minus a few four or 5 years.
Well, so 10 years you said at West Fargo School System. So why did you take the job at the theater? And even though I guess it's a similar type situation?
Yeah, it is. You know, there are so many parallels in what I'm doing right now with what I was doing in the school system. The only real difference is that I'm not a slave to that bell between those 50-minute classes. So I get to kind of expand out a little bit. You know, I think like anybody, we look for different challenges in our career and try to build up the talents that we have already. And certainly I'd found a groove and a rhythm in my teaching and my directing in West Fargo. So I was excited when this opportunity presented itself to kind of look at the thing that I was most passionate about, which is theater and education through theater, and taking that into a full-time position. So I've enjoyed my stay so far at the community theater.
Well, for people, how long have you been there?
Since September 2017. So.
Okay. With that said, and short tenure there right now, what's the biggest difference from working and directing at a community theater versus a high school theater?
Well, obviously, like the biggest, most obvious difference would be the clientele, right? In high school, just have those, you know, 9th through 12th graders who are part of what I'm doing. I'm gesticulate, so that's a theater director for you. Just have those 9th through 12th graders, but in the community theater, we have such a range of individuals who are a part of our performances. I think the best example, and my favorite example, is actually we had a production earlier this fall, and our cast members ranged in age from 4 to 64. And so that's incredible to get to kind of work with that range of individuals and figure out new ways to work with them and include them. And so that's been the biggest kind of difference and honestly the most fun kind of challenge as well.
Well, as you've been there less than a year for now, what shows have you produced so far at the theater?
Sure. So we actually opened our season in October 2017 with a kind of a classic Dial M for Murder. We did a children's production, Charlotte's Web. We did a great Christmas holiday show called the 1940s Radio Hour. And then we've done another children's show called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. We just have finished up a show called Calendar Girls, and then in April we'll be looking forward to our kind of season closing musical. It's a musical based on the movie Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, so we're excited about that in mid-April.
Well, now, how many shows do you look at doing in a year's time? We'll take it as a year.
Sure. Yeah. Well, in a calendar year, from January to December, there's kind of anywhere between probably like 8 and 10 shows that we do, which includes our programming that we do during the summer months for children as well.
Well, so let's talk about that. You know, what are you working on maybe right now? What's coming up?
Sure. Yeah. You know, even though it is, you know, still kind of spring, but June and July and August aren't that far away. So we've got plans in place for a couple production camps going on. We serve kids grades K through 8 primarily during our summer. We actually have our elementary camps in the month of June, and so they're doing a little production of Disney's Aladdin. That we're very excited about. And then in the month of July and first part of August, we're working primarily with middle school students. And they're doing a production of a show called Xanadu. And so we're excited about that. We bring in high school kids and college kids to serve as paid mentors. And so there's another opportunity to kind of educate that next generation of theater artists that are committing themselves in that way. It's a very pay it forward sort of summer program with us. But this this summer as well, we were offering for one of the first times, at least in recent memory, we're doing a production primarily for adults. A lot of times things kind of shut down during the course of the summer here in the Fargo-Moorhead area, and so getting our adults involved, realizing that not everybody has a lake cabin to go off to, not everybody's going off to family vacations and things like that, is just another way that we're hoping to engage our entire community, because we are a theater for the entire community and region, frankly.
Okay. And before we got on camera, we were talking about a sensory-friendly type event. Tell me about that.
So, one of our missions at the theater is to be an all-inclusive place, and that includes not only our volunteers that are on our stage as actors and technicians and so on, but it would also include our patrons, those who come and see our show. So one of the things that we've kind of spearheaded here is to do sensory-friendly performances. And with these, we're primarily looking at individuals who are perhaps on the autism spectrum, and those that might have really sensory needs, that sounds get too loud for them, or the lights are troublesome, or frankly, sometimes they just need to get up and move, or they need to, emote, express themselves in it. Normal things that most audiences would kind of shut down pretty quickly, and just go, no, you got to be quiet. Like, that's how we go to the theater. We sit in our seats quietly, and we don't say anything. So realizing that there's a whole population of individuals who are cut off from enjoying a live theater performance. So we spearheaded in February with our children's show, the true story, The Three Little Pigs, as our first sensory-friendly production. So we looked at those big sensory needs, when the lights get too bright, when the sounds get too big. We brought actors and actresses out ahead of time to say, hey, I'm playing the big bad wolf here, but I'm really just an actor. I'm a nice guy, and under this wig, this is what I look like. To try to eliminate any of those things that might be problematic or kind of cause a distraction, a disruption for those individuals. We were so pleased. We had a little under 150 individuals attend that performance. So children on the autism spectrum, and then of course their caretakers and parents and things like that as well. It was pretty remarkable, and get to see a group of citizens that are a little marginalized, that there isn't anything maybe specifically for them to enjoy as a family, or outlets to enjoy art in that way. And so that was a really special moment so far, in my tenure, to get to see that happen at our theaters. And there are lots of theaters around the country that are doing similar things, but we're the first ones in this area that really made it a very strong mission to make that happen, and certainly we'll include that moving forward. Yeah,
I was going to ask you about other community theaters. We're talking about the Fargo-Moorhead Community Theater, but how many more in the region? Are you familiar with them? But there are many across the area, and especially in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, so how do you find talent, though, as a more Fargo-Moorhead community theater?
Sure. Well, I think that's kind of the biggest thing to kind of drive forward, is that this is a place that people can participate. And we have lots of individuals who maybe had a theater major in college, and they went off and they did something else. We have lots of people who I did a play in high school once, and I thought it was kind of fun, and now I'm 50 years old, I want to do it again. This is a place that anybody can participate, regardless of experience and things like that. And more so, I mean, we do have a certain kind of fix on, we want really quality experiences and quality productions, but more so we want them to be fun and memorable for everybody involved with it. So these individuals can show up. We have our auditions posted all on our website. We send out different volunteer things over social media, and we have a nice selection, variety of people that come in through our doors for every one of our auditions throughout the year. So. Well,
one of the you talked about had a history. Maybe did it in high school, maybe did it in college, and then want to get back to it. But what about somebody who's never been in the theater, but all of a sudden, as they've aged a little bit, maybe right. They get an interest. Are they encouraged?
Absolutely. Right. Yep. We have actually a lot of different ways to be involved. We have first timers that are in all of our shows, certainly, but we actually have. Touching upon age a little bit, we actually have a program at our theater called the Silver Follies, and the Silver Follies are for individuals 55 and up, and they do a number of outreach things in our community throughout the year. Certainly a lot of nursing homes and retirement communities going out and singing and other things like that too. But they always do kind of a little kind of sit-down review on our stage during the spring, and so that's also a great way to connect, you know, that generation of performers with other people their age and who are really just kind of looking for a fun experience and connecting with other people. So when we say we're a theater for our entire community, we really truly believe it from top down, all ages. So there's a place for people on our stage.
That silver group, I think I may fit into. You said 4 to 64, I think, a while ago.
Yeah.
Kids, how do kids get involved with the auditions?
So, you know, it's a kind of a natural progression that a lot of kids will do our summer programs. We'll have over 200 kids participate in our summer programs this year, and so that might be the little thing to kind of light a little bit of a bug for them to want to be involved in a production. But they would go into the talent pool just like anybody else for productions. When there are opportunities for that particular, you know, younger ages, they're welcome to be here, and we're excited to have them on our stage.
Mm-hmm. What is your vision? Now you've been there a little while, so what's your vision for the future?
This is a great conversation. We're having this conversation at our theater right now, honestly. We are looking at, in the next few years, we're looking at our 75th anniversary. We've been in our community since 1946. And so there's a lot of talk about vision and you know, longevity with our organization. I think for right now, our mission, our mode of operation is to keep providing opportunities that can include more and more individuals in our community and in region as our community continues to grow, which it has substantially. To be able to reach out and go, hey, check us out over here. We've been in our community for over 75 years. Come see a show, come be in a show. We want to make this a very inclusive place that no matter of any background or you know, any differences, there's a place in our theater. And that could be in our productions, that could be in many of the rental things that we have going on in our building. We have lots of different events that are part of it. We want our place to be a place for all people. But with that acknowledgement as well, as the community grows, our theater needs to grow as an organization, and frankly, probably our footprint as well. We're really kind of tight on space at different times. So that might be something to look at for the future.
Mm. What about staffing? How many staff are at the theater?
We have 7 full-time here at the theater, and it's amazing. We have our executive director who kind of leads our group, and then myself as artistic director. We have a general manager of our theater. We have a full-time development, a full-time marketing individual, and then 2 individuals that work just full-time on production, a full-time technical director and a full-time costume director. Okay. So that's our 7.
What about, do you have volunteers?
Yes, so plenty of volunteers that come in to help with various tasks, admin and you know, production things, building and all of that. Certainly a board of directors that really helps our organization. We are a non-profit organization, so we're led by a board of directors that is very helpful and lends a hand into our doings as well.
Well, a little bit more about the history. 75 years.
Yeah.
That's
it's remarkable. Yeah. You know, truly, there are just only a handful of community theaters in this nation that have that sort of longevity. So for us to be one of them, I was an English teacher by trade, but gosh, I love history a lot, and so it's been really fun to kind of dig into some of that history of the organization as well. To know that in 1946 there was a group of kind of scrappy individuals who said, you know, our community needs a little culture. We need to figure this out. And so for their first many years, they were in different venues, different churches and auditoriums and stuff around the community before actually building our Playhouse, which is right south of downtown in Island Park. That was built in the mid-60s. But it was really kind of it was a scrappy effort. I think that's a great way to put it. The box office was run out of one man's house that taking phone calls and things like that. But they had a vision at that time, and this is a vision that has not been strayed from. Mm-hmm. And we're continuing to provide really exceptional opportunities for everyone in our community.
So how is it funded?
So we're funded certainly through partially with ticket sales and donations we rely very heavily on. We are also are dependent on charitable gaming. There are a handful of charitable gaming sites that support our mission of our theater.
Okay. How can people become members of the theater?
Sure. We very, very easy, honestly, to do it, either online or calling into our box office. For $35 a year, you would be a member of the Fargo-Moorhead Community Theater. And so we can set that up as a one-time thing. We can set a recurring donation up, and maybe you want to give $15 a month. We would love that. Some of the perks of that are being able to reserve tickets kind of ahead of time before the general public, so you can make sure you get the best seat in the house with things. There are opening night parties and celebrations, and yeah, it's a great thing. We do encourage membership. It's a small way to say this is an organization that you value in our town.
You do 8 or 10, you said, a year. How do you decide on what type of shows you'll put on?
We just put them in a hat, I think, and just draw out titles. No, I mean, there's no particular magic formula to it all. I think we look at our group of volunteers that we have. We look at what our patron base would like to see, and we kind of try to go, okay, these are some shows that are doable on our stage. We have the resources to make these happen. So. I don't know. Every year is a new adventure, from what I understand. But that was actually the first tasks that I had in the organization in September, October, is to pick our season for next year.
Yeah.
So,
well, as we're running out of time
oh my
here.
gosh.
So if people want more information, where can they go?
They should check out our website, fmct.org. Certainly give us a call, 701-235-1901.
All right. Adam, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thank you.
All right. Stay tuned for more. Max Junk is a bassist, composer, and teacher. His original jazz compositions are performed by talented musicians from the Fargo-Moorhead area. It's easy to lose yourself in the intelligent, relaxing music this group evokes.
My name is Max Junk. I play bass and write the tunes for the Max Junk group. I've been writing music for jazz groups for the last several years. Most of the music I've been writing up to now has been for very large groups. As sort of a challenge for myself, I wanted to start writing music or arranging my older music for a smaller group. So I guess I need to shout out Joel, Chris, and Steve in particular for being really fun people to play with and really interesting musicians. They bring a lot of creativity to it and a lot of fire. They don't just show up and play the part, which doesn't work in jazz music. You need to have people that are going to embody the music. So that's my goal for the time being, is to get a lot of music spun up for these guys.
Well, that's all we have on Prairie Pulse for this week. But as always, thanks for watching.
Funding for Minnesota Legacy programs are provided by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. And by the members of Prairie Public.